Just a few weeks ago, I was going to Germany on a school trip, and like most guys, I literally rushed to the back of the bus to obviously get the back seat with some of my friends. But then I saw someone I didn't expect. It was my crush. And to be honest, I didn't know why she was there anyway, because she didn't even study German. But I was just excited that she came so I could like speak to her or something. After a few hours, I kind of fell asleep, but before I did, I was visualizing something. I was visualizing in my mind, since this girl is coming and since this is a trip that I'm not going to be able to work, I'm not going to be able to really do much stuff other than just socialize. I decided to visualize myself just socializing with other people and visualizing socializing with her. A few days later, as we're in a stop somewhere in the UK or somewhere in France, I'm just kind of walking around with my friends, or just waiting for the bus to finally start up. And I saw her sitting in the corner of my eye. And I knew it's now or never. I knew if I was in school, I was just gonna say that, oh, there's too many people around. Or if it's in the bus, obviously I'm not gonna get up and talk to her. So I knew it was now or never. So I spoke to her, asked her a question, and we went on from there. This story told me two things that have really been repeated and repeated in my mind from successful people like Alex Ramosi and Hamza, and I think like Charlie Morgan, talking about dissatisfaction and visualizations. And the reason I found that so interesting because of my visualization that I did during the trip, during the beginning of the trip on the bus, and as I was like during the day, during the like hotel, just whenever I could, I knew that it was my success mechanism inside of me working. And I'm gonna explain what that is. You might not know what that is exactly, but because if it wasn't for my success mechanism working in my subconscious, I wouldn't have seen her sitting alone. I would have thought like, oh, I could speak to her now. Because I was just kind of doing my own thing. I wasn't like planning to speak to her here. I was just kind of hoping, to be honest. But I just saw her sitting alone and I spoke to her. I think with dissatisfaction because I knew that it was basically now or never. I couldn't really speak to her in school because I'm not gonna lie to you. There's guys around, there's other people around, like kinda don't want to, let's be honest. I know I kind of portray myself as someone who is confident, and most of the time I am. But like I said, visualizations and dissatisfaction are great for business and they're great for being productive. And if you're a business owner who is making over $200 per month, whether you're doing like TikTok clips, you're making videos like me, you do coaching, you do, I don't know, like drop shipping, like any business model that is like somewhat relevant, like, I don't know, basically the ones I mentioned, then I'm gonna help you do the work that will usually take you 1 week done in 1 day. And I know that sounds crazy to do the whole week in 1 day, but I'm telling you, it's so possible. It's actually crazy how much like productiveness you're missing out. I remember this day where I find like I used to work for like maybe 1 hour, like literally a few months ago when I was like doing copywriting. I was like, I swear to God, I literally could only sit down for 30 minutes, and every single time I would literally turn to my right, like literally turn my whole body, break my neck, turn to my right, and I'm hoping it was over. Every single day, I was looking at the clock, hoping it was over, hoping I could finally stop working. Every single day. I hated the work, I was obsessive with the results, and I didn't get any of them. And I know now it's not the same. Now I'm getting results, now I'm actually seeing progress. But for so long, I struggled, and there was so much pain, but with pain came so much learning. And with that learning, I learned almost how to do a whole week's of work in 1 day. And that's what I'm going to teach you, that's what I want to pass on, that's what I want to share. I don't just want to keep this knowledge to myself, I want to give it to you. So if you are interested, you can scroll down right now, literally zip with the mouse down to the description of this video and click on the first description and you can just check it out. A few minutes ago, I was talking about success mechanism, and we all have one. You have one, I have one, your mom has one, your freaking brother, your sister, everybody has a success mechanism inside of them. And a success mechanism is basically, it works in terms of goals. And this is from the book Psycho-Cybernetics, if you are interested. Basically, a success mechanism is you put in a goal, like let's say for me it was speaking to this girl, and your success mechanism will actually try relentlessly to actually achieve that goal. Now, you might be skeptical if that's actually really true, because it's kind of like a crazy thing. It's like, really, you put something in your mind and then you saw like your mind actually tries to achieve it. It doesn't seem very realistic. Like, usually you don't feel that day to day. It works in your subconscious, but that is the reason why you think you get like your best ideas when you're in the shower, when you're on walks. Your success mechanism just working and giving you ideas to reach the goal. This is why when I was in the bus, I visualized myself speaking to this girl, and my success mechanism was just working and giving me ideas. It wasn't just like telling me, oh, like, you can speak to her now. It also kind of gave me ideas to what to speak to her about. And I just thought, oh, I can ask her this question. I remember after speaking to this girl, I thought that I could be better. I could be better because when I spoke to her, I wasn't like in my best time, let's say. I didn't really look that good because I had like shorter hair. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't look that good with like super short hair. With this hair I kind of like it because obviously it looks a little bit messy, and you probably have like the same thing. You probably have like slightly shorter hair, you might even have it buzzed because of discipline reasons and things like that. But I was thinking to myself, I could be better. and you probably had the same thing. Like you knew you could be better, and that's dissatisfaction. But I had a weird dissatisfaction. Let me tell you. I was thinking to myself like I could become better. And I could literally become because I already kind of am funny in my class, and I'm very social, and I'm very kind of lively around guys. But around girls, it's kind of like there's some friction towards that. I kind of like if I put in the level, like I'm level 5 with girls and I'm level like 20 with guys. That sounds a little bit weird, but you know what, you get what I mean, okay? Like I want to become better like speaking with girls, and that was dissatisfaction, right? So I was thinking that I wanted to during summer I wanted to lock in my business. That's why I'm recording this. I want to lock in. I want to help you. I want to make money. I want to become more social. I want to look better. I want to look max. I want to hype max. That's actually apparently a thing. I want to try it out. I'm gonna like bring you the results if I ever find any results. And I knew if I am able to hype max, looks max, and socialize max, and I come back to school, I was actually gonna be like the top priority of all girls. Like think about it. I look good. I'm confident, and I make money. Like why this is no other option. Like think this to yourself, and you don't have to just take my word. You don't have to think like, oh, I'm just boasting myself, I think that I'm so big and whatever. I'm just a human. I'm just a guy telling you what I think. But think to yourself, like you think to yourself, or maybe you're not even at school anymore, maybe you're at, I don't know, work, you do business. But think to yourself, imagine you are a young guy, like let's think you're back in school. Let's think you're a young guy, you're making money, and everybody else isn't making money in your school. You're making money, you're super confident around guys and now around girls, and you're super social around guys and girls. Don't you think like every girl, and you're funny actually, don't you think every girl would like you? That would literally be the ideal 3. You're social, you're funny, you're charismatic, and you make money. Think about that. And this is my example of dissatisfaction. I know it's a little bit cringe, it's like girls and money and being the best guy and whatever, but it is something that really kind of drives me. It really gives me so much excitement to come back to school and actually like lock in and focus. So I'm just gonna take it as my advantage and be able to focus and become more productive just by having that thought in my mind. And Andrew Tate, I think, made this analogy where I'm almost standing in the hot cold rocks. These hot, imagine this. Imagine I put you in these hot cold rocks, like near this volcano. You're gonna want to run off these hot cold rocks as fast as possible. But if you're in this red carpet and it's kind of like nice, but it's not that nice, like maybe it's a little bit spiky, but you can like tolerate it. There's no like real drive for you to get off. Compared to these hot rocks, you're gonna jump off as soon as you can. With this red carpet, you might just kind of like sit there, walk around, and then after a while, you might just go to the beach or something. And that's because we as humans are just hardwired to run away from pain and into pleasure. That's how most products work. If you've ever bought any sort of product, it's always due to this, or mostly due to this. For example, if you buy something related to skincare, you are running away from the pain of your face looking bad, having acne, or having a dirty face. When you think about like books, you're kind of running away the pain of being broke. Like for example, when I bought Psycho-Cybernetics, I was running away from the pain of being broke and not having as much knowledge. Because the more knowledge I have, the more money I make. And when I wake up, and you're going to experience this, and I'm going to tell you how to really have this dissatisfaction in you, which is every single day when I wake up and I think of this, it just makes me so much more productive. There's no motive for me to go back to bed when I have this dream life and I'm just over here. That's the gap between your dream life and where you are. It's almost like the dissatisfaction. And I'm gonna tell you how to do that precisely, but I'm telling you, when you actually manage to do this every single day, it's not going to be a struggle for you to get up early in the morning. It's not going to be a struggle for you to work, because your brain is going to think, oh, I need to do this to get where I want. Like, what when I do it? It sounds stupid. And you maybe have tried it. You probably already have goals, but they don't work as powerful as this. They don't like tell you. You might have the goal to make 10K per month, but you never have that real drive to get up here. And that's because you need to do a certain type of dissatisfaction that I'm going to tell you in a minute. And usually to be this dissatisfied, you usually have to have like I think it's called fuck this moment like experience where you're just down horrendous, and that's how you get into self-improvement. That's probably how you go into self-improvement, because you're dissatisfied with your life. But you obviously don't need like such a bad experience just to get rich. You can literally almost create this dissatisfaction in your mind, and you do that through, like I said, visualizations. And I do want to mention, this has been one of the most powerful tactics that I've ever learned, because I already told you, like with this dissatisfaction, like here to here, it like basically makes you productive just naturally. You want to get out of bed, you want to work, because it just seems like the natural thing to do compared to just laying down and not really doing anything. Because it just seems like there's so much like pain. Like imagine you're laying down and constantly your mind is telling you, you need to work to get here. If you don't work, you're gonna stay in your life. It's horrible, it's disgusting, you don't want to be here, you hate this area. And also any new tactic you learn without this like really learning about dissatisfaction, it's almost like they give you such a tiny boost. Like you might learn a new tactic on how to be a little bit more productive, but it almost gives you like a tiny little boost. For example, there's this tactic that I call like the 10-minute work method or something like that. I forgot what I call it exactly, but the idea is you get up and you only work for 10 minutes. So you start working for 10 minutes, you make a little bit of progress, and then you realize, oh wait, no, I can just keep working. So you work for 1 hour. But then when you don't have dissatisfaction, you will only work for 10 minutes, and it won't really give you that much benefit. That wasn't the idea of the actual tactic. It was meant for you to get in and then continue working, not just get in and get out. Think about it this way: whenever you learn a new tactic, you get a better dart to throw at this board, and when you hit the bullseye, it's like metaphorically reaching your goals. But without this satisfaction, it's almost like you're not even throwing the dart. You might have the best dart, the best like even like a guided dart, but you just don't want to throw it because you don't have the reason to, you don't have the dissatisfaction to. So that's how you actually become dissatisfied, and you just have to really visualize it vividly, and that creates emotion. And when you have emotion, your mind really drives to actually want to achieve this dream result. So visualize what you think will be your dream life. Like for example, I have this noted down, so I'm just gonna read it. But if you close your eyes and think about this, you have 5 unread messages from girls who want you on WhatsApp or on Instagram. You're in a villa traveling around the world to fun places with your family. You can buy anything you buy. You go to restaurants, you have fun with them, you don't worry about the price or anything. They can actually enjoy their lives after working for so long, after helping you when you were young. You buy anything without any fear. It doesn't hurt your bank account. It doesn't feel like you're doing anything. And really visualize almost a place. Like, for example, if I were to do this, I wouldn't just visualize like, oh yeah, I'll be in some fancy restaurant. I'll think like, where's something where I want to go? I want to go to, I don't know, for example, Thailand, let's say. Like you visualize you go to Thailand, the exact like restaurants, you feel the heat, you feel the food going into your mouth. You want to like almost visualize it. And apparently 80% of like our sensory image, or I think that's what it called, comes from our sight. So if you just visualize almost like everything, if you just visualize like almost like the restaurant, you kind of like visualize it, you visualize the walk there, you visualize yourself buying without any pain. That's really gonna add emotion, and this really makes a difference, because when you don't add emotion, you're just gonna visualize and you're just not gonna feel anything. And that's not the point of this, for you to visualize and actually improve your life from it. Now do the same, but visualize yourself right now. You have no money, you still have to go to school, you struggle to really focus, you want to be more productive, you see your mom wake up every single day at 6 a.m. And I'm using myself as an example. For example, I see my mom wake up at 6 a.m. every single day, and it pained me. It seemed me like I could literally retire my mom, or at least I can help her so she doesn't have to wake up so early. She can wake up later and not have to do as much work just by working, just by like actually getting the result that I want, which is making money. I could like finally stop feeling the pain of me just not being able to buy a course without spending all my money. And if you really visualize, like for example, your current life where maybe your parents wake up early and you just wish they didn't have to, whenever you buy a course, you waste all your money. Just think of like things. Maybe you're not that social, maybe you're not that confident, like whatever. Just visualize it right now. And obviously don't visualize it as much, because if you keep visualizing negative things, your body is actually going to try and achieve those negative things. So you always want to visualize positive things. But it's just this is just the one time you want to visualize negative things to create dissatisfaction. And if you really visualize that, you're almost gonna have a little bit of hatred towards your current self compared to that future self that you could be. You could have 500 messages from girls. You could buy whatever you want. You can go on holiday with your family. There's no pain. You're just buying whatever you want without any like worries. But here it's the complete opposite. You don't have many girls, you didn't really buy whatever you want. When you do this, dissatisfaction will push you to try and get to this other area from this area, because it's just like the contrast from this bad to this good. Your mind is just gonna want to achieve this good. So when you keep visualizing this good, it's your success mechanism is gonna naturally try to get ideas, naturally try to work towards this good. So every day in your morning routine, or a set time you have, just basically a time where you can just do visualizations in peace. Just think of a time. Maybe for you it's your morning routine. For me, it's at least my morning routine. So let's say you have it in your morning routine now, and every single day just visualize for like 2 or 1 minute. But you just visualize your current life compared to the life you could be living, and it almost makes procrastinating. It almost makes like wasting time unwanted. It makes it like stupid to do. It makes you working just feel like the next natural step. And if you keep visualizing yourself like the positive, and you kind of think to yourself like, oh, I'm currently living in this area, but I could be here, it almost creates dissatisfaction just naturally. And this dissatisfaction will want to make you work and make you not work, like feel stupid, feel like something you don't want to do. It's almost like what Alex Ramosi said. He says something like, make an offer that people but I can't speak. Make an offer that people feel stupid saying no. And when you have dissatisfaction, it's almost like that, but for work. Work is something that feels stupid saying no to. And obviously the more you do this, the more practice you will get. But I want to leave you with these 2 tips, the best tips that I can give you, which is visualize vividly and visualize emotionally. And obviously when you visualize vividly, which is that voice cry was horrendous. Visualizing vividly is you using your 5 senses. Most of your sensory input, most of what your brain really processes apparently from your eyesight. So you want to really, 80-20 is literally your eyes. It's literally 80% of it is from your eyes. So you just visualize the room, the area, the kind of people that would be there, and then you visualize the sound, and you visualize the taste of the food or something. That's going to make it vivid. And obviously when you make it vivid, that's going to make it emotional, because vividness creates emotion. And obviously the more you practice, the more powerful this gets, the better you get at visualization, and the better you get at reaching your goals, the better you get at becoming dissatisfied. Like I said, you don't want to obsess over the bad results that you have right now. Maybe you're not that productive, maybe you don't work as hard, maybe you don't make as much money. You don't want to obsess over that, because remember, your success mechanism works whatever you put in it. So if you keep putting negative things, it's going to try to achieve negative things. So you just kind of want to do the good visualization, so your success mechanism is headed on a good way, and you kind of just want to think to yourself, oh wait, I'm not in that area, I'm kind of in this bad area that I don't want to be. And if you did find some value in this video, you're going to find a hell of a lot of value in the first link in the description, which, like I said, is you doing the work, and we usually take you 1 week done in 1 day. Think about that, literally a whole week's of work in 1 day. Imagine how much more productive you'll be than everybody freaking else. Think about the fact you're not going to have to work as much. You can literally work less time and get the same amount of results. You don't have to work, for example, instead of working 12 hours, you can only work literally 4 hours and do the same amount of work. But now imagine if you work this 4 hours times 4. You literally do basically the work that will take you 1 week done in 1 day. Imagine that. So if you are interested in doing that, you can click on the first link in the description and get my one-to-one help, where I help small business owners do the work that will take you them 1 week done in 1 day. Scroll down right now and click on the first link in the description, and I'll see you in there.